Hello, 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 my amigos. Welcome one, welcome all. It's time for another exciting edition of, you guessed it, your favorite English show under the sun. Well, at least I hope it is, folks. Hold on to your hats. It's time for the show with no name, and it's time for
T-minus
liftoff.
10,
9,
8,
8,
7,
7.
6,
Come on, you
5,
you got this.
4,
Even beginners.
3,
2. My daughter can do it.
1, 0. Ignition.
Let's do it, folks.
Liftoff.
Let's rock.
Liftoff. 30 minutes after the hour.
Get pumped. Get pumped. Desmotívate. Here we go. I hope you guys are pumped.
Get ready.
Because it's time to go on an
seatbelt,
exciting
fasten your
English journey.
seatbelts, hold on to your hat. Get ready for the ride of your life. The show
With no name.
On Fun Radio. It's a show with no name. It's the show. Let's go.
All right, amigos. Welcome aboard. It's time for another exciting week ahead. I hope you guys enjoyed the holiday. Last week was a weird week, at least if you live here in Spain. Yeah, it's nice. We had 2 days off. Some of you had the whole week off. Oh, that's pretty lucky. My daughter she just had school on Friday. I think a lot of kids, which I think makes no sense either. If you're going to give them the week, you might as well just give them the week. It makes sense. Because as those of you who know who worked last week, you have 2 Mondays, you have 2 Fridays, and in the end, it's a quagmire. I think a good translation would be fastio. I mean, you can't make heads or tails of it, como decimos en inglés. To make heads or tails of it is no sé ni cómo cogerlo, no sé cómo interpretarlo. And heads or tails is, you say cara o cruz, I believe, when there's a coin toss. Buen vocabulario, by the way. And we've got the World Cup going on, so what better time? When there's a coin toss, the referee tosses the coin, and somebody calls heads or tails. You guys say cara o cruz. I love these little like cultural things, because cara o cruz, it depends on what was on your coin, lo que tenías en la moneda. So folks, welcome aboard. It's Vaughn Radio. Download our free app and you can catch all of our programs. We've got amazing shows all day long here. I know you guys were just getting warmed up with my buddy Fitz, who is just an amazing teacher, and he's the teacher that teaches the teachers. Yes, I know what I'm saying. Believe me. He's the teacher that teaches the teachers. That's what he does, and he inspired me to become a teacher. I mean, well, I wanted to be a teacher, but when I met him, I said, I want to be like him. Now, obviously, we're all different. We all have our own personality, but I said, I want to have that discipline. I want my students, because Fitz is a really nice guy. You have a couple beers with him. But also as a teacher, he can be strict. But I think that's what you want, right? Do you want a personal trainer who's like, oh, go ahead. You can have an extra donut. No problem. Is that what you're looking for? Because then maybe you're not really looking for a personal trainer. Maybe you're just looking for somebody to enable you, right? Just like, it's okay. One donut is fine, right? Which is true. One donut is fine. But we all know how donuts work. I can't eat just one. It's like Pringles, right? All right, guys, welcome aboard. I see so many people joining us already in our chat. You guys can participate live, not just on this program, but I know Tosh Pasqua, Kyle Miller, a lot of them are using Twitter Some of them are using Twitch. The idea is make sure you're following us and that you guys are in the know, enterados, that you're in the know and you know what's going on in the Vaughn sphere. And we even have, if you go to our website, grupovaughn.com, you'll see we have a Vaughn portal now for students where you can share ideas. I haven't used it yet, but I just was taking a look at the website earlier, and it looks awesome. So give it a look-ski, as we say, en una forma muy nativa. Give it a look-ski, un vistacillo. What would be? Es ponerle como un diminutivo al final, right? Give it a look-ski. Our website is grupovaughn.com. And that's awesome because that's where we're going to go for today's pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Pop quiz. Come on. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. That's right, amigos. It is our pop quiz only on the show with no name. And the pop quiz is a section where I take something off social media. Now, that can be from Vaughn, it can be from my account, but the idea is you're going to be getting something off social media. So as I just said moments ago, make sure you guys are following us on social media because you're not just going to find out about special deals that we've got going on, which we do. You're not only going to find a good place to do all your Christmas shopping, especially for your fellow classmates. I mean, it's the gift that keeps on giving. If you give, I know you guys, many of you are friends. Thinking of gift ideas for each other, go over to vaughntienda.com and you'll see we have a plethora of things for all levels, for all budgets. As I said, two places you need to go. grupovaughn.com, which is the website. You'll get information about everything. You'll get mini classes as well, and you'll find out about all the latest news. And then you've got Vaughn Tienda, which is where you can go shopping and you can have our English materials, whichever they may be, delivered to your door. It's vaughntienda.com. And I've got 4 books there. Well, I've got a lot of materials that I've worked on. The Disney collection, which is coming out every Saturday, which I have to be honest, I missed the last one. So I hope I can get it because I want the whole collection. Oh, man. I said to him, I said, I know I'm going to miss one because, I'm a reliable guy. Puedes contar conmigo, but it was every Saturday, and one Saturday it slipped my mind. And then when I went, he goes, "Oh, no, I don't have it anymore." I was like, all right. So a lot of you who have asked the question, is the Disney Vaughn collection going to be available after the fact? Will you be able to get some of the books that you missed? I don't know yet. I imagine, okay, I asked because of for my own interest, but I imagine it will be. Okay, but I don't know. I don't have any further information. That's just another reason that you guys should follow us on social media. All right, well, let's take a look. Let's do this. Before we take a look at today's pop quiz, let's go over to our chat room, our virtual classroom, and we'll give some shout outs to our students. But this isn't your average English class. No es uno cualquiera. I think we got to put a little oomph into it. A little oomph es un poco de punch, un poco de energía. So give me a beat. There it is. All right, cool. Get excited about English. Oh, yeah. It's all about your approach in life. El enfoque que le das a las cosas. The approach. Let's take a look. We've got Jesus saying morning double A. Morning to you, Jesus. front row center. Ahí le tenemos en primera fila. And Jesus, oh no. Jesus, please, no. No. People is. Oh no. People is? What? Let's sing the song. Sing it with me. People are people, so what can it be? You and I can get along so easily. I said, people is. Oh no, Jesus. I'm going to give you another song by the Beatles. Don't let me down. No me decepciones con people is. Siempre people are. There's my dad. Good morning, Alberto. Friends and family greetings from Greenwood Lake, New York. Oh, it's chilly there. Chilly, una forma de decir frío. Muy frío. It's chilly. Oh, I was on my phone. I've got a couple of the, I've got Almeria, Madrid. I've got New York as well. And I compare, and oh my God. Whoa, Dad, stay warm. And my dad says, good morning. Good morning to you. Born to Iron Man checking in. He says, morning, folks. What's up, Born to Iron Man? Ready to rock. Vero says, morning, beautiful people. Morning to you, Vero. Jose says, I love this program. Oh, wow. Thanks a lot, Jose. I'm glad you love this show. I love that you love it. You catch my drift? Maybe yes. All right. Let's see. Who else have we got over here? Eva checking in. She says, good morning. Good morning to you, Eva. How are you? How are you doing? I don't know why I just said it with an Irish accent, but why not? Good morning. Top of the morning to you, Eva. There's Monse. Monse says, morning, guys. Nice to see you all here. Oh, yeah, it's an absolute pleasure for the teacher as well. So I imagine it's a mutual feeling. It's a win. My dad says an inch of snow. Oh, that's not too bad. An inch. Una pulgada, I think you say. Yes, literalmente eso. Si lo ves. An inch of snow. Cool. Well, that's not too bad. But either way, stay safe, stay warm, right? Nice day to light a fire in the fireplace. The fireplace, la chimenea. See, we say chimney. The chimney's the outside part, no? La chimenea es la estructura que sobresale de la casa, la parte exterior. Where Santa comes down the chimney. But when he lands in the fireplace, making a list. He's checking it twice. He's gonna find out who's naughty and nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. I'm in the Christmas spirit, and if you're not, well, bah humbug. Como dijo nuestro amigo Scrooge, bah humbug. There's Chris Valrol. Chris, Christmas. See, she's definitely in the holiday spirit. Her name demands it. What's up, Chris? She says, hi, morning, AA, and dear mates. I'm over here listening. I hope I'll be able to participate in a while. Let's see. Well, Chris, as long as we know you're here, that's good. That's good enough for us. Salvador, here to save the day. Here he comes to save the day. What's up, Salvador? He says, hey, mates. Hello, my British friend. Well, mate es muy británico. But hello. Let's see. Joaquin says, good afternoon. I got up at 3:30 today. Yeah, it's all relative, isn't it, Joaquin? That's right, 3:30. Well, the early bird gets the worm. El que madruga, Dios le ayuda. Nihal, what's up, Nihal? Says, good morning. With you, I can trust myself that I can do it and get it. Well, I'm just your cheerleader. But if you believe that you can improve your English and then you put in the time and the effort, of course you can. Of course you can. You can do anything. You want to be an astronaut? Who says you can't? We know who our worst enemy is. We always know who that is. The person in the mirror. You, right? Let's see. Monse says, chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim chiroo. I see everybody is excited to be here. Everybody's in a sing-songy mood. I don't know about you guys, but Alex is back. Who's Alex? The elf on the shelf. I think this is the greatest invention ever. Elf on the shelf. Have you guys heard of this toy? Parents, aunts, uncles? It's incredible. Elf on a shelf is like a little elf, and he's mischievous. Hay gente que dice mischievous. Travieso is the word. Yo digo mischievous, pero he oído mischievous. Esas palabras raras, ¿eh? Bueno, pero si se aceptan las dos, no puedes fallar ahí, right? And he hides. Él se esconde. Every night when Lara goes to sleep, when the kids go to sleep, he hides. And he gets into trouble. So you can find him in the fridge. You can find him. Last year, he was hanging from my microphone. And I don't know who's having more fun right now. My daughter or mommy and daddy thinking of places to hide Alex, to help Alex. So really funny. Really, I don't know, just those little things, even if it's not about buying big presents and stuff. But those little traditions, those little fun things that every Christmas, Lara's like, Alex is back. There he is. Those are cool things. And that's a new tradition. I don't remember this elf on a shelf, but I get it. Lo capto, lo pillo. All right, speaking of get it, let's see if you guys get today's pop quiz. Now, it's going to be a pretty easy one here, but I'm going to show you the way I want you guys to do translation lists, okay? So it's really one translation, but if you know me, then one translation is always 3 translations. Actually, 3 or 4. Well, let's take a look. Okay. The first one. Okay, and this is part 1. Don't give it to me yet because they're all going to go together, okay? But when you go and do a translation list, and I'm talking about the easiest ones out there. In fact, this is like basic. This is beginner stuff over here. Well, I'm just saying, this is a translation list from our translation booklet 1. Okay? And I know maybe you students who are a little bit higher level are going to be like, this is easy. Well, I'm going to show you, and those of you who have been with me for a long time, you know how we do this. When I see a translation list and I see 25 sentences that need to be translated, I really see 100 because there are 4 that you can use for each one. Think about this. So I'm going to take the simplest sentence ever. Where is he from? Okay, ¿de dónde es él? Si queremos contraerlo, where's he from? Okay. Tenemos la interrogación, la que acabo de hacer. Where's he from? Empieza con where, who, when, where, how, why, right? And then, okay. Where are you from? Easy. Where is he? Estábamos con where is he from. Vamos a quedarnos con eso. Where is he from? Great. We got it. But if you go a little bit deeper, then you say, okay, ¿y cómo negamos esto? Porque podemos coger esta misma estructura y jugar con ella. Play around with it. See if we feel comfortable with it. So again, you're not looking at the translation list as just, each one is one translation. Look at it as a structure that you can play with, and you'll get so much more out of one list. Trust me, I do this with my students because si sigo la lista, okay, ¿cómo estás? How are you? Muy bien. ¿Sabes cómo está ella? Do you know how she is? So in my class, you can expect me to take that same structure and put it into a different one. So let's review. We said, where's he from? Question. Vamos a afirmar. He's from El Marchal de Lublin. We're talking about my dad. Where's he from? He's from, tenemos pregunta ahora, interrogación. Where's he from? Afirmamos. He's from El Marchal de Lublin, the capital of Spain, by the way. Pero hay más frases que podemos sacar. The negative. He isn't from the United States. He's been living there his whole life, but he isn't from there. So now we just got the negative of that as well. And we've got one more because that's 3. We've got our indirect question too, which is really, for all intents and purposes, the affirmative. So ya tenemos where is he from? He's from El Marchal. He isn't from the United States. Ya no estamos haciendo una traducción, estamos controlando una estructura en todas sus encarnaciones, right? And then we've got the indirect. Do you know? I'm not sure. Cualquier cosa que ponemos por delante. Do you know where he is from? Right? Or I don't know where he's from. Y fijaos, esa no es igual que la interrogación. Es igual que la afirmación. So, vamos con otra. What time is it? Ok, vosotros me vais a dar esa. Ok, me tienes que dar todas, ok. Más fácil imposible. Porque dices, todo el mundo sabe decir qué hora es. Primero, ¿lo pronuncias bien? Dices, what time is it? O what time is it? What time is it? What time is it? Time is it es una sola. What time is it? O sea, ¿lo controlas de verdad? ¿Lo dices, what time is it? O dices, what time is it? What time is it? Ok, bien, ya quitamos eso. Give me the indirect, ¿sabes? Yo no sé, ponlo como quieras, que sea correcta la estructura. Ok, pónmelas todas juntas, ok? So, los que faltan, yo te he dado la interrogación. What time is it? Quiero que me des la indirecta, como tú quieras, por delante con I don't know, I'm not sure, he told me. No, algo que hace que eso ya no sea pregunta. All right? And then I want you to give me, dime la hora si quieres. Tell me what time it is y dime qué hora, que no son las tal. Okay? I see I've got a lot of people participating here, but Joaquin, born to Iron Man, but if you could give them to me, guys, in one post, because the whole idea is to practice it as one, right? Nihad says, oh, this is awesome. Nihad, this I love this. This means I'm old school and I keep it true, but I did the same. Os cuento, hacía lo mismo en español. Ok. Ahora, en español es muy fácil. ¿Sabes qué hora es? ¿Qué hora es? No cambia. So it's a little bit easier, right? But Nihad says, yesterday, I watched a video that you made 12 years ago. Oh my God, I'm sure it didn't even look like me. On Vaughn TV, and you were using the same technique. But that's what it is. I mean, are we trying to memorize sentences? Okay, maybe a little bit. You know, if we learn it the way it sounds, great, sure. But aren't we trying to master the grammar, the structure in the language? And aloud, siempre. Cuando haces las listas de traducción, I used to tell my students that. And I still tell them. If you're not doing it aloud, you're not doing it. You don't just sit there. It's on the table. Okay. Si sabes decirlo en tu cabeza, you gotta. What are we doing? It's like playing an instrument and not blowing into the saxophone, right? So Nihad, I'm old school, keeping it real. Let's see. Salvador says, okay, Salvador's given us all the different examples here that we can get just from one line. By the way, if you guys want to get our complete translation booklet collection, do it. And if you go through all of those books and do this, I freaking guarantee that you are going to master this language because it's got all the structures. Check it out. Our legendary Vaughn translation books. You can get them over at vaughntienda.com. Let's see. Salvador. He says, what time is it? Muy bien. Esa es la pregunta directa. What time is it? Vamos a pronunciarlo, por favor. Es muy importantísimo porque las veces que he oído is it y is it no son comparables aquí. So, what time is it? Mira la entonación también. No digo, what time is it? What time is it? O sea, el is it va junto. What time is it? Okay, good. Salvador, indirect question. I don't know what time it is. Perfect, Salvador. Excellent. It is, ¿ves? Es igual que la afirmación. It is 12 o'clock. So far, so good, Salvador. Hasta ahora, todo bien. Nuestro amigo Salvador. He's on fire, guys. All right. Let's see what he's got next. She doesn't know what time it is. Oh, wow. Excellent. You gave us even in the third person over there. She doesn't know what time it is. Excellent. Otra indirecta y tercera persona. Look, Salvador's showing off, pero quiero que hagas eso, Salvador. Excellent. Then he says, it is 5 to 11. Excellent. It is not 10 o'clock. Unbelievable. Salvador saving the day. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to go to our first commercial break. The good news, we'll be back in 2 minutes with tons more. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to part 2 of today's show with No Name on Vaughn Radio. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right, amigos, welcome back to part 2. I just shared, I'm gonna do it right now. I just shared the link from the post. Remember that pop quiz came from one of Grupo Vaughn's posts. So make sure you guys are following Grupo Vaughn, because if not, you are missing out. I just shared it. And remember, even the simplest of translation lists can be not complicated. I'm not saying complicated, but you can really, really make sure you're soaking every little bit out of it. Or as we say as well, milking it for all it's worth, right? Exprimiendo todo. So next time you see a translation list, if you didn't get anything from that first pop quiz here today, take this from it. Learning a structure is what we want to do. We don't want to just memorize sentences. But if you learn how to take a structure and flip-flop it and make it negative and then turn it positive and do exactly what our friend Salvador did, which, by the way, let's give him a nice round of applause. Excellent job, Salvador. All right, amigos, we've got a lot to do, so let's kick off with today's Say What? Say what? What? That's right, amigos. That's right. Oh, and quickly going back to the translation lists. Also, you want to work on speed too. That's something we always did. We time when you're in class, you time your students. You're like, ready? Last week, you did it in this time. Can you do it? But remember this, every time they make a mistake, whether it be pronunciation or just mixing up the structure, then you got to go back and you got to do that sentence again. So it's not just about speed, but it's also about accuracy. And you can work on, as I said, your intonation, on putting your words together, linking your words the way we link our words. I try and do that. I've never heard anybody say cuñado. You say cuñado. You just link them. You link those sounds. Okay. Now, I'm sure some people saying cuñado, but you're in your head, you're even saying it. But because, well, it just disappeared. It's like the you better. En inglés no es you better, técnicamente. Si vamos a Cambridge, if we go to the halls of Cambridge, technically it's incorrect. It's not you better. It's you'd better, which comes from you had better. But Americans say, you'd better take your rules and stick them where the sun don't shine. And we say it in a British accent. All right, guys, here's where we're going to hear a lot of different accents in this section, and we'll analyze native people as they speak. Also, you'll work on summarizing, taking what you hear and summarizing in English succinctly, clearly, and with your best English possible. So as always, pay close attention. You're going to hear this 4 times. This is the first listen of today's Say What soundbite.
Jewelry? Seriously? Sheldon, you are the most shallow, self-centered person I have ever met. Do you really think that another transparently manipulated... Oh, it's a tiara! A tiara! I have a tiara! Put it on me, 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 put it on me.
All right, there you go, folks. Obviously, some comedic things going on there, right? Sounds funny, I would say. Okay, what else could we get from it? Where's the person from? What if you had to guess what's going on? Give me some context, right? You might even recognize some of the things you heard. You might even recognize the person's voice. This is where I know who watches series and movies in English, because you know what Robert De Niro sounds like. You know what all of our fame. The same way what a Spanish actor sounds like, or a Spanish singer. Well, if you watch it, obviously in its original version, after seeing The Rock or whoever the movie star is, you really grow up knowing their voices, like as if they were a family, right? I think about that a lot of times when I hear some voices from some of my favorite cartoons. I'm like, wow, it feels like family. It feels like home, All right, the power of the voice, the power of communication. All right, well, I'm going to play it for you a second time, and I'd like to hear what you heard in your best English possible. Remember, you're going to get 4 chances to jot down word for word what you heard, and this is the second listen.
Jewelry? Seriously? Sheldon, you are the most shallow, self-centered person I have ever met. Do you really think that another transparently manipulated... Oh, it's a tiara! A tiara! I have a tiara! Put it on me, 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 put it on me.
All right. Definitely sounds exciting. Sounds like the person cut themselves off, right? They interrupted themselves in mid-sentence. So I think that's worth looking at. Vale la pena mirar eso. All right, well, I'm going to let you guys think about it as we prepare for our spelling bee.
Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee.
That's right, amigos. That's right. It is our spelling bee. And hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on. We've got a few people participating in our Say What soundbite. So before we go on to our spelling bee, which I'm going to warn you, today's spelling bee, we got numbers in there too. So we're spelling words and numbers. This is exclusively for Super Show with no namers today. Tan exclusivo que no sé decirlo yo. All right, let's take a look at some comments over here for our Say What soundbite. Monse is the first one to participate. And Monse says, knock, knock, knock. Alberto, 3 times I recognized her. Oh, yeah. I mean, that I know. You know what, Monse? When I was saying we know who watches series and their original version and movies, do you know who popped into my mind? You. So I think we read each other's mind, not just Monse and myself, but many of us. I recognized her. That's a nice moment of a show that I've enjoyed a lot. It made me laugh a lot. She's a great actress. And it's interesting too, Monse, because you're talking about what I just said. Some voices are not just characters we know from a show, but they're like home. They're like our friends. We feel like we've known them, even though, we really don't know that person. It's a fictional character. But I know the feeling. I second the motion, or as we say, ditto. And ditto es una copia, no? Copiar eso, no? Joaquin, he's never copying anyone anywhere. He's an original, not a copycat. A copycat es un copión. And he's been up since 3:30 this morning. So his brain is totally, I'm trying to get my brain going and it just won't. And I was recording stuff before the show. So, and some pretty hardcore texts, like with scientific stuff in there. And I'm like, let's see. Joaquin says jewelry. Good. You heard the word jewelry. He says, she says the boy is the most shallow person she's ever met. In the shallow, we're far from the shallow now. Oh, no, of course I'm not going to hit that note. I don't think anybody can except Lady Gaga. So yes, the most shallow person she's ever met. But when she sees the brand, she wants it. Put it on me, ha, ha, ha. Okay, so he's saying it's something about a brand, alguna marca que le puede gustar. I think you're on the right track there, Joaquin. Great job to Monse and Joaquin. Also, Oscar, or as we say in English, Oscar. Well, a veces me sale en inglés, a veces en español, Oscar. All right, Oscar says, I heard an American woman who seems not being keen of jewelry. Okay, yo cambiaría, who seems she's not keen on jewelry. Yeah, el keen on sería la preposición. Until she sees the amazing tiara. And yes, good word you heard there, a tiara. A tiara, you say una corona? It's what a print. My daughter has like 20 of them. Okay. I think my wife says una corona, but we call it a tiara, right? The ballerinas wear them sometimes as well. Until she sees the tiara that this shallow guy is giving to her. Great job, Oscar. You said a lot in just a few sentences. And that's the idea behind this. I don't want you giving me, every single detail. We'll save that for the end. At first, I just want you to tell me in a couple sentences what you heard and your opinion on what you heard, what's going on, right? Okay, well, let's go on over to our spelling bee. This is going to be a tough one because, as always, we're going to spell some words, but today we're getting some numbers with each word as well. I can tell you right now, they're cities and their respective populations. Are you guys ready? Okay, let me clear my throat. Let me get ready because we are going to speed through this. The first city is Phildel, PHIA. And the population there is 1,603,797. The next one is PITTSBURGH. And the population there is 302,971. The next one is ALLENTOWN. And the population there is 125,845. The next one is READING, and the population there is 95,112. The fifth city is ERIE, and the population there is 94,831. And the sixth city in today's spelling bee is I'll start that one again. UPPER space DARBY, and the population there is 85,681. O sea, para que veas, hasta nativos nos equivocamos, okay? Like, it's like normal. So, if you make mistakes, I mean, who doesn't? And I'm not just talking about students, you get tongue-tied, or you say, se me ha olvidado decir el espacio, como en mi caso. I forgot to say the space, but to err is human. Think about that every time you make a mistake. And then you won't feel so bad, because we're all making mistakes. That's how we learn. That's how we evolve. All right, let's see if anybody got these cities and their populations. Again, I'm going to repeat them in just a moment at a more down-to-earth, a more normal speed. No, más en la tierra, menos light speed. Anybody? Going once? Going twice? Ooh, I guess this one, I'll tell you what, when there are numbers involved, it can be a lot more challenging. I hate the word difficult. I love the word challenging. So it can be quite challenging when we add numbers into the mix. Anybody? Going once? Going twice? All right, let's do it. Wait. Hang on over here, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like we have a winner, not for our spelling bee, but we have somebody who has gotten our Say What soundbite. Give it up for Nihad. Whoa. And it looks right. It looks right, Nihad. So excellent job. You got it after the second go. You are definitely a super show with no namer. All right, well, we're going to have to do our spelling bee here. Round 2. The good news is, guys, you have a second round, so you can use that second round. If you didn't have a second round, I'd say, okay, well, let's move on, guys. I guess nobody got it. But you get a second chance here. You don't always get a second chance in life. We all know that. All right, here we go, folks. The first word in today's spelling bee is a city. The city is PHILADELPHIA. And the population in that city is 1,603,797. The second city is PITTSBURGH. And the population in that city is 302,971. Now, this is a really easy pace, folks. Esto es un ritmo, yo creo, bastante sencillo el ritmo. The third city is ALLENTOWN. And the population there is 125,845. The next one is READING. And the population in our fourth city is 95,112 inhabitants. The fifth city is ERIE, and the population in that city is 94,831. And the last city is UPPER space DARBY. And the population there is 85,681. All right. There we go, amigos. That's as slow as I can go without spoon feeding you. And to spoon feed, ¿cómo se dice esto? Bueno, literalmente es alimentar con la mano, ¿no? Con la cuchara, ¿no? Dar todo en bandeja. To spoon feed. It's a really good one to know if you didn't know it. In fact, by the way, guys, if you're not following me on social media, I've got a lot of expressions, false friends, common mistakes that I'm sharing every day on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. A lot of you are telling me that you're learning English and reviewing a lot of key stuff. That's awesome. That's music to my ears and to my eyes when I read your comments and you say, hey, Alberto, I've been making this mistake for years, but I'm not going to make it again now that I've seen this video. And that to me is like, wow, if I get one comment like that on each video, it makes it worthwhile. Remember, follow. This is just another way to make sure you're getting English everywhere you look. Everywhere you look, there's a heart, a hand to hold on to. Everywhere you look. Full House, Padres Forzosos. What was I just saying about all these characters we grew up with? Did anybody else feel like John Stamos was their Uncle Jesse? Para mí fue ese era mi Uncle Jesse, no? And Michelle was like my little cousin, you know what I mean? I grew every Friday. I would watch them. I remember they used to be on the same. It was like every Friday they had it. It was called TGIF. Great name. Thank God it's Friday. And it was Steve Urkel. It was the show I just mentioned, Full House. You call it. It's weird. Forceful Dad sounds weird in English. A bit weird, I would say. Just a bit weird. All right. Let's take a look over here at Monse taking a stab at today's spelling bee. Now, Monse, the cities look. Oh no, the fifth city, the second to last city, is incorrect. Okay, there's a little mistake over there, and there's just one problem. Your numbers are kind of mixed over here. Están un poco mezcladas because I'm seeing like some decimal points and some commas here. So veo que es como medio español, medio inglés ahí. Donde hay comas debería haber, donde hay puntos aquí debería haber comas. So I'm seeing a couple mistakes that you don't want to make, especially if you're dealing with your money. No, me quitas una coma, me quitas miles de dólares. Bueno, yo no lo tengo en mi caso, but you get what I'm saying? So this is really important that we get numbers correct, especially if we're going to be doing any banking or even a money exchange. When you go to the airport, you have the currency exchange. Currency is divisa, is what you say. Cambiar de una moneda a otra. All right, well, I'll tell you what, an excellent effort. And it looks like the only one to take a stab at it is Monse. So, Monse, you're righter than everyone else. And again, I just see one mistake in the spelling, just one little one there. And the numbers, we got to make sure we get those right. But let's go through everything right now. Now, these are the top 6 cities in in Pennsylvania. I always mix them up. Pennsylvania is the state. Philadelphia is a city. So Philadelphia is in Pennsylvania, right? But my head, I just can't wrap my head around that. Okay. There's Vero as well. Vero taking a stab at it. Vero, it might be right. That fifth, oh man, that fifth one is killing you guys. El quinto parece que os está machacando. En serio, ese quinto. Okay, pues vamos con el quinto. Let's start with the fifth one because that one seems like the toughest one over there. Born to Iron Man says, is there anyone else who can read my answer? Nope. Born to Iron Man. I can't see it. It's not here in the chat room, which is quite strange. I was wondering where you were. Me preguntaba dónde estabas tú. All right, well, let's take a look at them either way because we got to keep moving on here. The first city is Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, as it's called. That's right, Philadelphia. It's the city I always think of Rocky Balboa, right? The famous Italian stallion. Then, so Philadelphia. Now, just remember this, though. If you write it in English, it's not with an F, it's with a PH in the beginning and at the end. So tiene dos letras más directamente ahí, porque no es F, es PH. So Philadelphia, or as we lovingly call it, Philly, right? We call it Philly. Hey, I was in Philly for the weekend. Probably one of the most important places in the founding of the United States, right? These were the earliest colonies. So this is where the Liberty Bell is. And it's just so much history and a beautiful region, the Northeast, what is New England, that area, just gorgeous. Pennsylvania, Virginia, these are gorgeous states. And they're not far from New York. Philly is not far from New York at all. In fact, let's take a look. Philadelphia to New York, kilometers, porque si no me va a dar millas aquí. Let's see, the shortest distance, vamos a ver. The shortest distance airline, that's si vas en avión, it's 100, all right, pues en coche, 150 kilometers. So they say it's about a 2-hour drive, okay? A 2-hour drive. All right, well, folks, it looks like we've got Born to Iron Man. Oh, you're back. Okay. Yeah, I guess there was some problem over there, a little glitch in the matrix. But what we're going to do, guys, right now is take a quick commercial break. I'll tell you why, because we're running out of time here. Can't believe it. I hope you guys are having fun. When we come back, we'll take a look at these other cities in Pennsylvania, or PA, as we call it. Acuérdate, cada estado tiene su abreviatura. PA, Philadelphia, PA. All right, guys, we'll be right back with tons more. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name, exclusively on Vaughn Radio. Don't forget, after today's show, you've got Jules and her program, Let's Get Random. Don't miss it. After that, you've got the Lunchtime Show with Rob and Andy. After the Lunchtime Show, you've got Tosh Pasqua and Back to Basics. Remember, so many different programs here, so many accents, and all of them designed to help you improve your English. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to the second half of today's show. What we have to do is kick off with a section that we call homophones. Homophones on the show with no name. If homophones time, cause homophones rhyme, they sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme, they sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with homophones. Show with no name. That's right, amigos. It's homophones only on the show with no name. And as always, we look at two words that may or may not sound the same. You guys tell me. All right, the first word we're going to look at over here is a word I know we've looked at before on the show, but we're going to look at it again, but this time in a different context. We're going to look at it up against, contra otra palabra. So the first word is batido, but I'm not talking about a smoothie or a milkshake. No, I'm talking about algo que está batido, martillado. También es derrotado, okay? Vencido, defeated. What else? Another one is agotado. Okay. It's the third column, the participle of the word vencer. So it would be vencido. Okay. As I said, derrotado, vencido, agotado, like exhausted, de cansancio. And the second word is also a participle. The second word is the participle for the word morder. So if you've heard this word before, and I'm sure you have, it's in many idiomatic expressions, which, as you know, we'll always look at this a little bit more in depth when we solve it. We'll look at other uses as well as the pronunciation. So mordido or mordisqueado, maybe you would say, me acabo de inventar eso. And the first word is batido, derrotado, vencido. What are those two words, and do those two words sound exactly the same or not? Also, I'm going to give you guys today's Say What soundbite here for the third time. And we already have a couple winners. We have Nihad, who figured it out, and also, I believe, let me check here. I don't want to say the wrong name. I know you guys take this stuff personal here. And also Monse. So great job. And if you guys want to participate, remember, you still have time. Here it is. This is the third listen of today's Say What soundbite.
Jewelry? Seriously? Sheldon, you are the most shallow, self-centered person I have ever met. Do you really think that another transparently manipulated... Oh, it's a tiara! A tiara! I have a tiara! Put it on me, 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 put it on me.
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. Hopefully you guys will be able to figure that out. I know some of your students, your fellow students, already have. Now, it's up to the rest of you to see if you can get it as well. Let's also take a look at today's homophones over here and see how you guys did over there. All right. The first person to participate in the homophones section is Monse, and she says the words are and And that's correct, Monse. She says, if so, they're not homophones. Interesting. You say they're not homophones. Okay, let's see. Jesus says they don't sound alike. And Jesus, again, those are the correct words. Vero agrees. She says the two correct words. So the good thing is you all know what the words are. That's wonderful. And right now, you all agree that they don't sound the same. Okay, Salvador offers us an explanation. Salvador says, and. Oh, well, Salvador, you got them mixed up, so it's incorrect, right? Porque no, right? So the first word was, porque ahora creo que las tienes al revés. You see what I'm saying, guys? This is why the order is really important here. Because now I don't know if you just made a mistake or you just put them backwards because you felt like it, porque te apeteció. But now I can't say it's correct because it's the other way around. La primera palabra que has puesto no es vencido. But let's see your explanation nonetheless. I think they are not homophones. A short versus a long I. Oh, so you're saying the vowel sounds are exactly the same, but it's the length. Interesting. Dice que son iguales los sonidos vocales, pero la longitud, the length of it. Okay, interesting. Well, you know how we solve this, guys. We just say the words and we try and put them in context. Now, the first one comes from the verb to beat, vencer. También es largarse, beat it, lárgate. It's got many, many uses. The word is beaten. Beaten. Now, los americanos, you know, we say beaten. Beaten. Right? Beaten. Interesting, right? You can say it either way there. Pero el sonido vocal no cambia, no? En británico ni americano. So I'll try and say it in both. Americans would say, they haven't been beaten. Beaten. Eso es el glottal stop americano. Eso es como yo lo digo. We've never been beaten. Beaten. Okay? We've never, ever been beaten by anyone. Okay. You can say beaten. That's up to you. Esa es más británica. We've never been beaten. Beaten. Okay? So that's the first one. The second word comes from the word bite. So it's bite. Vamos a conjugar ambos que son irregulares, right? Bite, bit, bitten. Okay. So now we've got both of our words. The first word is beaten. They can't be beaten. Yo lo digo a la americana. They can't be beaten. Okay. What about no se les puede morder? They can't be bitten. O bitten. Otra vez, el sonido vocal no cambia de inglés británico a inglés americano. Lo que cambiaría sería, ¿no? Si es el mismo o no. O si es más largo, as we just said. So now let me say both words. And I'm going to say both words in American English and in more British English, okay? So the first one we'll say in American English because that's the way I would normally say it. Beaten. Beaten. And the second word is bitten. Bitten. En inglés británico, well, algo parecido. Beaten, bitten. Beaten, bitten. I think the vowel sounds are the same length. Beaten, bitten, but they're different vowel sounds. That's true. So everybody who said, and I think that's all of you, said that these words do not sound the same. It's a different vowel sound. Right? So let's say them, okay? Beaten, la primera, beaten, bitten. Let's see, somebody else. Joaquin says, beat and bit are homophones in the UK, but not in the US. Well, I don't know about that, Joaquin, because I don't have any British friends that say, he beat me, right? They would say, he bit me. Porque ahora sí que es otro, uno es largo y otro no. So they beat me y se extiende, right? He bit me. Entonces, no sé, no me suena correcto eso. Maybe again, I don't know every British person, but I would say that, it sounds kind of weird because I'm going to try and say it like my British friends. He bit me. He bit me. Bit, but not like beat. No es el sonido y latina. So I'm not sure. Check into that. Maybe check with your English teacher if you have another one there. But I doesn't sound like it would be to me. So beaten versus bitten reminds me of the expression to bite off more than you can chew. Y esto es abarcar demasiado. Sometimes in life, we bite off more than we can chew. ¿Y cómo practicamos conjugarlo? Vamos a ponerlo en pasado. I always bite off more than I can chew. Así estás practicando cómo se dice la expresión y lo conjugamos. Last year, I bit off more than I could chew. Lately, I've bitten off more than I can chew. Now, para niveles más bajos, podemos practicar con la expresión morder la lengua. Every day, I bite my tongue. Yesterday, I bit my tongue. And lately, I've bitten my tongue. All right. So play with the words. Play with the words so you feel comfortable with them. The same thing we were doing before when we were looking at our translation lists. All right. Also, what we need to do, folks, is go over our spelling bee. Again, the reason I chose these places, these cities in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania, para que veas. Y mira que es el estado al lado, pero no me entra en la cabeza. Geography is not my forte. Well, today, Pennsylvania became the second state to ratify the U.S. Constitution, and that was in 1787 today. So I figured we would take a look at this historic state and some of its cities with the highest population. And the first one, obviously, is Philadelphia, probably the most well-known city. The population was, y os lo voy a decir en español, so this way you can check your answers. Y os voy a decir cómo se escribe, con comas, dónde van las comas. So this way you can check, okay? So, y yo voy a practicar en español, porque a mí me cuesta, ¿eh? So Philadelphia was the city, the population, as we said, 1 million, que no se dice millions, aunque sean 4,600,000, nunca con ese ahí. 1,603,797. Okay. Ahora, escrito 1,603,797. All right. And in Spanish, 1,603,797. ¿Ves? Me cuesta. Números son difíciles. Let's be honest. They're tough. Okay. The next one. Pittsburgh. I've never been to Pittsburgh, but it's known as the Steel City. It was the capital of steel production in the United States in the late 19th century and into the 20th century. And of course, Pittsburgh steel is famous not just for the steel that built, the United States, but also during the war effort in the Second World War. So definitely, and of course, the football team is called the Steelers. The Philadelphia's football team is the Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles, which is if you know, the American symbol, the bald eagle. So there's always a very patriotic element in these states because they were the early states, the 13 colonies originally. So Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh's population is a lot lower now. Look at this jump here. So Philly has over 1.5 million, right? Well, Pittsburgh has not even 500,000, a little over 250,000. Pittsburgh has 302,971 inhabitants. Okay? 302,971. Escrito en inglés, 302, no punto. 971. Okay. So this is Pittsburgh, the Steel City. The next one is Allentown. Now, I didn't know about the name of this town until I heard an awesome song by Billy Joel. If you haven't heard it, it's a beautiful song, and it's called Allentown. Well, we're living here in Allentown, and they're closing all the factories down. Well, we're living here in Allentown. And it's about tough times and the closing of the steel factories. Very, very interesting area. And the population of Allentown, 125,845. And that's 125,845. Escrito en inglés 125,845. Puntos son comas, comas son puntos. The next one's Reading, Pennsylvania. Reading. Yeah, they like to read. They like to write over in Reading, Pennsylvania. The population in Reading is 95,112. 95,112. 95,112. The fifth one, and I guess this one was the toughest one, was Erie. Erie, Pennsylvania, as it's called. Erie. And that is spelled E-R-I-E. Yeah, see? I told you that one was tough. E-R-I-E. Well, a lot of people put A-E. I don't know. It was a tough one there. Well, the population there is right under Reading's population, and that's 94,831. 94,831 inhabitants, and that's 94,831. 94,831. And the last one was Upper Darby. Upper Darby. And it's called, their nickname is The World in One Place. That's a pretty attractive slogan. So Upper Darby's population is 85,681. 85,681. And escrito 85,681. Great job. I know it wasn't easy today, but hey, that's a spelling bee. Sometimes I'll throw some numbers in there for you as well. But guys, it's time to move on to today's Name That Movie. Name That Movie. That's right, amigos. As always, it's time to take a look at today's movie. And this is where we learn English the way a native learns English. And, well, how do we know that? Well, where do you think we learn? Sure, we learn at home, right? We learn with our family. We learn, through our TVs, the radio, our friends. I mean, a kid, as I see from my daughter, learns from everything. Doesn't matter what. A kid will learn from a cereal box. Okay. I know I learned a lot of Spanish that way. Before we had smartphones, what happened was, I remember when we had to go to the toilet and do our business, well, you didn't have a smartphone. So you would read the detergent box or the shampoo container, and I remember learning a lot of Spanish there just by doing that. So movies are definitely a great way to increase improve your listening, also your vocabulary. I know even when I watch things with my wife, we watch it in English and she puts on the subtitles in Spanish sometimes. If it's something that's really difficult, like courts, en un juicio, que es un poco más difícil, they're more like, from the South and they're harder to understand, you know what I mean? So it's interesting because a lot of times I'm like, ¿cómo han expresado esa idea en español? So I learned Spanish. Honestly, I even learned Spanish by watching things in English with Spanish subtitles. So here we go, folks. I'll give you a trailer as I always do. We'll see if you can figure it out. Celine, a vampire warrior, is entrenched in a conflict between vampires and werewolves, while falling in love with Michael, a human who is sought by werewolves for unknown reasons. Okay, there we go, my amigos. Celine, a vampire warrior, guerrera, is entrenched. Interesante, no sé cómo se dice esto en español. Arraigado. Oh, no sé si me suena esto. Afianzado. Bueno, tiene sentido. Entrenched. A trench es una trinchera. Atrincherado. Makes sense, right? So entrenched in a conflict between vampires and werewolves, hombres lobos, while falling in love with Michael. And Michael is a human who is sought by, buscado por. If something is sought after, rebuscado, right? Oh, the diamonds are sought after. So he is sought by werewolves for unknown reasons. Ho, ho, ho. Werewolves, vampires, sounds like fun. Sounds like a fun movie. All right, let's take a look at the scene that I've chosen, and we'll see if anybody can figure out the movie. If not, no worries. The important thing is, as with every section, whether you participate or not, is that you milk it. You get everything that you want and can possibly get out of it. And like again, going back to the translation list, do you see one sentence or do you see a structure that you can play with? Right. And folks, there's Chris Valrol rocking it, knocking it out of the park. Our flick, nuestra peli. Our flick is Underworld. I love that. Submundo, Underworld. Now, I'm sure the name is a bit different in Spanish. And the character named Singe, which is interesting because to singe es quemar, como cuando hablamos de pelo. Vamos a ver cómo lo traducen. Singe, chamuscar. Esa sí que la sabía en español. Quemadura. So singe como verbo. Singe. Oh man, don't play with lighters or you're going to singe your hair. So Singe is the name of the character. And he says, for years, we've been trying to combine the bloodlines. And for years, we've failed. It was useless. So vamos let's go back a little bit here. To combine, fácil, combinar, bloodlines, líneas de sangre o lazos de sangre, do you say? And for years, we've failed. No hemos tenido éxito. It was useless, inútil, even at the cellular level. También en la capa o el nivel celular. Our species, right? The human species. Vamos a pronunciarlo, species. Our species seemed destined to destroy each other. Yet the key, la clave, we knew was to locate, ubicar, the rarest, el menos conocido of bloodlines. A direct descendant, te suena, no? Descendiente. A direct descendant of Alexander Corvinus. Hungarian, húngaro, we say Hungarian. A warlord, un guerrero, un señor de guerra, un dios de la guerra, un señor de la guerra, who came to power in the early seasons of the 5th century, que llegó al poder en las estaciones tempranas, no, a principios de el 5º siglo, just in time to watch a plague ravage his village. Mira, dos palabras que acaban con age, que no es age, es age. Ravage es destrozar. A ver cómo lo traducen. Mucho vocabulario que estoy sacando yo. Asolar, devastar, arrasar. To ravage, just in time to watch a plague, una peste, una plaga, ravage his village. Por favor, di estas palabras conmigo. Ravage, village, language. He alone survived. Solo él sobrevivió. Somehow, de alguna manera, his body was able to change the disease, cambiar la enfermedad, to change the disease. Mold it, amoldar, no lleva a en inglés. Mold it to his benefit. He became the first true immortal, el primer verdadero inmortal. And years later, y años después, he fathered. ¿Sabías que esto es una palabra que es ser padre de? He fathered at least 2 children who inherited, heredaron, the same trait, rasgo, característica, trait. And then Victor says, the sons of the Corvinus clan, el clan Corvinus, once, one bitten by bat, uno mordido por un murciélago. You know that one, bitten, que no es igual que beaten, vencido. One bitten by bat, one by wolf, one to walk the lonely road of mortality as a human. It's a ridiculous legend. Nothing more. Folks, we've got to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with the fourth and final part of today's show. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. Come on in. Come on in to the fourth and final part of today's show. Oh, yeah. That's right, folks. We've got so much to do. Hope you guys are having fun. Hope you're learning English. Hope you're making friends, too. I'm sure you guys are making friends. I see the way you guys interact with each other and how you encourage each other. All right, well, we've got so much to do, my amigos. So we're going to kick off with a section we call Double Trouble.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double,
Double trouble. Double. Double trouble. I said double. Double trouble. Yeah. That's right, amigos. It's Double Trouble only on the show with no name. And wait a second. Did I say double trouble? I meant triple trouble. Oh, yeah. Today we've got triple trouble going on here on the show. So I hope you guys are ready. We've got to call the police because this one is criminal. It's criminal. This is criminal. ¿No es una canción? All right, here we go. Deja de andar por las ramas, que estoy reventado de andar o hacer mi patrulla, mi ronda. So let's pretend, vamos a fingir, que es un policía. Okay? And he says, oh, deja de andar por las ramas, que estoy reventado de andar o hacer mi patrulla barra ronda. All right, amigos. There you go. Hopefully somebody will get it. It's a triple trouble today. So take your time. I think it's a really tough one. Un policía dice, right? A policeman or a policewoman or a police officer, te vale, says, deja de andar por las ramas, que estoy reventado de andar o hacer mi patrulla o ronda, ¿no? All right, my amigos, there you go. Hopefully somebody will get it. I see also we got Vero who figured out today's Name That Movie as well. Great job, ladies. All right, so what do you think? Well, you know what? I'll play the Say What soundbite for you for the final time. We've got a few people who figured it out, so great job. This is the final listen. Please write down what you hear.
Jewelry? Seriously? Sheldon, you are the most shallow, self-centered person I have ever met. Do you really think that another transparently manipulated... Oh, it's a tiara! A tiara! I have a tiara! Put it on me, 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 put it on me.
All right, there you go, amigos. There you go. That is the fourth and final listen of today's Say What soundbite. Let's see if anybody got our triple trouble. I know it's tough, but do whatever you can. You know, if you make an effort, that makes me happy. And if not, well, don't worry. I will solve it as we do with everything. That's why I tell you guys, even if you're not listening to a live show or I'm sick for some reason or whatever, you'll always learn from each episode because we solve everything in the end, ¿no? Al final resolvemos todas las dudas, todos los retos que propongamos. All right, let's see if we've got a winner here. We've got Born to Iron Man. He's the first one to participate. And Born to Iron Man says, stop beating around the bush. Born to Iron Man, so far, so good. Hasta ahora, muy bien. Stop beating around the bush. Deja de. La estructura es stop más ing. Muy bien, Born to Iron Man, porque muchos dicen stop to, deja de, pero en inglés es con ing. Deja de hacer cual cosa. Stop o quit más el gerundio. Quit beating around the bush. Stop beating. Acuérdate, vamos directamente al gerundio. No, stop to, porque ya nos liamos un poco. Stop beating around the bush. To beat around the bush. Unas ramas, un arbusto is a bush. Same expression. And then he says, estoy reventado. I'm beat. Excellent. I'm beat for walking my beat. The only thing I would change, Born to Iron Man, is that preposition. But man, let's give it to him because woo! Stop beating around the bush. I'm beat. Reventado. Esto es muy americano, decimos siempre, right? I'm beat from walking my beat. So the only thing that I would change there is I'm beat from. Estoy reventado de hacer tal cosa. Okay, I'm beat from running around picking up things at, running errands, por ejemplo. I'm beat from running errands all morning. Estoy reventado de hacer recados toda la mañana, right? So again, we don't just want to learn the word beat as reventado. And we don't just want to learn to beat around the bush, pero que, como dijimos, deja de hacerlo. Pues tan importante como decir eso. So I'm beat. Y usa un ejemplo, right? I'm beat from waking up at 3:30 in the morning. In Joaquin's case, there's an easy one. I'm beat, right? And we've looked at this word today. I even gave you a little clue there. I said, es reventado también. Some people say beaten, pero en americano yo diría beat, right? En vez de beaten. So stop beating around the bush. I'm beat from walking my beat. And a beat is exactly that. It's a police officer who works the street usually has a beat, and that's their routine, their ronda, I think is the word that it says here when I look at it. But as I look at this word beat, man, I'm just beat from looking at all the different meanings. And we didn't even talk about beat it, beat it, beat it, lárgate, beat it. Let's see, Vero as well. She says, stop beating around the bush because I'm beaten from walking my beat. Pues sí, pero yo no lo diría así, pero es correcto. Hay gente que dice, oh man, I am beaten. Los americanos decimos beat. I'm beat, right? Pero es correcto, porque pone beaten, reventado aquí también. So excellent job, Vero. I'm beat from, and yeah, she used the correct preposition. I'm beaten from walking my beat. Let's see. Jay Lima says, stop beating around the bush. I'm beaten for running around my beat. So what I think the most difficult thing here is I'm beat from tal cosa. And the best way to do that right now, think of an example. Even if you're not beat right now, when would you normally use this, right? In what situation you say, oh man, I am beat from riding my bike all morning. Whatever tires you out, which is a good thing too. Oh, I'm beat from working all day. I'm beat from staring at screens all day. De mirar pantallas. I'm giving you my examples right now. All right, so come up with your own examples. And this is how we personalize the language, how we make it our own. And when we can play with it, when we can come up with our own jokes, for example, we've got it all under control. And we're showing mastery of the language. Quiero dominancia, right? Mastery, or dominio, I think you say, mastery of the language. All right, well, a way to know you have mastery of the language, as I just said, is jokes. So I think it's time for your joking.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch. Ouch. You get it? Ouch. He walked into the bar. You're joking.
That's right, amigos. That's right. You're joking over here. And this is a part of the show where we take a look at a hysterical joke. Okay, maybe not. It's not that funny. But hopefully you guys will learn some English from this joke or two. Who knows? Maybe I've prepared a couple jokes for you on the You're Joking section. All right, I saw a guy today with soot all over his face. Soot. Vamos a ver cómo se dice soot. Me suena de haberlo visto. Hollín. Yeah, no, me acuerdo que era una palabra así rara. Hollín. So we were talking about the fireplace. We were talking about the chimney before, right? Well, this is the substance, that black substance, right? It's called soot. Se escribe S-O-O-T, soot. So I saw a guy today with soot all over his face, chimney, as you can imagine. And he was carrying a large pickaxe, right? A pickaxe. Mira, mucho vocabulario sin llegar al punchline. A pickaxe is un pico, zapapico, piqueta, right? It's like a small little axe for chopping, okay? So una hacha de estas más pequeñas, ¿no? So he had soot all over his face. He was carrying a pickaxe, And he was wearing a blue hard hat. And what is a hard hat? A hard hat es un casco de estos de construcción, right? A hard hat. These ones that you would have if you were down in a mine as well, right? And that hard hat matched his overalls. Overalls. Ooh, mucho vocabulario aquí, eh? I didn't realize there was so much vocabulary. Overalls, que se suele usar en plural en este caso, es un mono, right? This blue, these overalls, okay? Que es un onesie realmente. Okay? Es como un pijama estos azules. So now that you know all the vocabulary, let's go through the joke. I saw a guy today with soot all over his face, and he was carrying a large pickaxe, and he was wearing a blue hard hat with matching overalls, que hacían juego, with matching overalls. But you know what? These are just minor details. No. These are just minor details. Do you get the joke? No. They're just minor details. Soot on. No. We were talking about Pennsylvania and the mines. A lot of mining in Pennsylvania, right? A lot of mining, minería in Pennsylvania. We're talking about steel, coal, all of this stuff. So there are a lot of miners. Sí, mineros. Pero si lo escribes minor en vez de miner, es minor, que son homófonos, and es menor de edad. Pero también es menores, detalles menores, que no son tan importantes. Do you get it now? So I saw a guy today with soot all over his face, carrying a large pickaxe, and he was wearing a blue hard hat and matching overalls. But these are just minor details. Detalles de minero, detalles menores, poco. Well, the guy had a medium build. Medium build, constructor, build, constitución de cuerpo. Medium build. No. Bueno, build, ya lo sabes, que no se pronuncia build, se pronuncia build, right? And also your build is your body type. If you have an average build, normal, promedio, whatever that may be. Depends on the culture, I guess, too, right? Some people have a big build. I've always been built. También decimos, estoy construido. Así. So that word constitución is your build, and you're built like a truck, como un camión, significa que tienes una constitución grande. Okay, one more, and then I promise we'll move on. What do you call an insignificant, underage person who digs for coal? Okay. Ahora, sabiendo todo el vocabulario que os di antes, what do you call an insignificant, underage person who digs for coal? A minor. Bueno, los primeros dos son minor, no importante, minor, menor de edad, y el último es minor, pero todos se dicen minor. A minor. Hey, you wanted triple trouble, folks. You got it. Let's move on to today's famous birthday trivia.
Birthdays for you. Famous birthdays for me. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Oi. Birthdays for him. Famous birthdays for her. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name.
That's right. It's famous birthdays only on the show with no name. And as always, I'm going to give you guys some clues and you tell me who today's birthday boys and girls are. And let me tell you something. I've already given you a couple clues all throughout today's show, as I always do. You guys know me. You know how I do it. I like to drop clues along the way, por el camino. So the first person was born in 1949. He is an English actor. He was in the movie Underworld in 2003. Hey, wait a second. Underworld? 2003? Wasn't that today's Name That movie? Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was in that one. He was also in Love Actually, which is the 2003 movie. Many people kind of got to know who this guy was through that, a través de eso. He was in Still Crazy. He was in Shaun of the Dead, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Hot Fuzz, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. I mean, he's been in so many different movies along the way. Number two, this guy was the chairman of the board. Also in many movies, but many people know him for his voice. They called him Old Blue Eyes, the chairman of the board, the guy who told us, start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I'm gonna make a brand. You know it. The chairman of the board, one of the greatest crooners uno que canta, one of the greatest crooners out there. And he did it his way. I mean, we could just spend an hour or two, maybe a whole show, just talking about him and his music and his mob ties, sus conexiones con la mafia también. Really interesting guy, you know, his connections to President JFK. I mean, this guy's a fascinating guy. The chairman of the board, Old Blue Eyes himself. Just name his, another one I love. That's life. That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shot down in May. And if it's gonna change that tune, when I'm back on top in June, I said that's life. Así es la vida. What a great song. Play any of his songs. Fly me to the moon. Let me play among the stars. And the next and last birthday girl, she has really blossomed into a tremendous actress. Pun intended. Que valga la redundancia. She has blossomed, florecido, into a great actress. Blossom was how she got famous. She played the role of Blossom on the TV series Blossom. But she's been in many movies, but then she had a huge comeback where she plays a neuroscientist, which she is a scientist. She has a Bachelor of Science degree in neuroscience. So she's not just playing that character known as Amy Farrah Fowler on Big Bang Theory, but she is that character. And man, I don't know about you guys. I love the show and I love her character. And I'm happy to see the actress too. I'm happy to see her have a comeback. That's such a huge comeback. And let's see, ladies and gentlemen, we have got a winner. Please give it up for your classmate, Monse. Our birthdays, Bill Nee, Frank Sinatra, and Mayim Bialik, who is Amy Fowler on the show Big Bang Theory. And this is her in a scene with Sheldon, her not so deserving boyfriend. And she says, jewelry, seriously? Like he's getting her a gift, you know? And that's not like him. Él no es así, you know? And she says, jewelry, seriously, Sheldon? You are the most shallow, self-centered person I have ever met. Como que a mí comprándome estas joyas, a mí esto no me va a hacer gracia, ¿no? Como no va a funcionar. And shallow es poco profundo. Self-centered. Está centrado en sí mismo, egoísta. You are the most shallow, self-centered person I have ever met. Do you really think that another transparently manipulative, y se corta ella misma. Oh, it's a tiara. Yeah, I have a tiara. Put it on me. Como, she was saying it wasn't going to work, but evidently it worked, because who doesn't want to be a prince or a princess? I guess not everybody. But Amy Fowler's character, well, we could see her true colors. She's like, nah, I don't want a necklace, but if you give me a tiara. So, folks, again, goes back to those things we do when we're young, right? All right, well, here it is, Mayim Bialik in the show Big Bang Theory.
Jewelry? Seriously? Sheldon, you are the most shallow, self-centered person I have ever met. Do you really think that another transparently manipulated... Oh, it's a tiara! A tiara! I have a tiara! Put it on me, 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 put it on me.
All right, folks, there you go. Today's Say What soundbite. And now it's time for our final section, Name That Lyric.
Hi, hello, Alberto. I think the song is. No? Sorry, bye.
Name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. Name that lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. It's name that lyric only on the show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It's Name That Lyric. And thank you to all of you who participated today and every day. And thanks so much for being amazing students. It's always a pleasure to spend this time with you guys here. I mean, I know it's my job. I know I'm working right now, but you guys make it so much more bearable, so much more exciting. And they say, you know, your job is the people you work with. I work with you guys. Of course, I work with Nacho. I work with other people at Vaughn to do materials and the Vaughn Disney collection, Disney Vaughn collection, available every Saturday. Really, I spend my days with you guys here in class, preparing stuff for you guys, and then coming here and teaching you guys. And you guys are doing a great job as always. All right. Well, folks, as always, we'll take a look at today's song. What I'll do is, we don't have much time, so I'll give you the song. It is an awesome song. I was just singing it before. It's Frank Sinatra, and That's Life. That's what all the people say. Eso es la vida, es lo que todo el mundo dice. You're riding high in April. Tú vas volando por las nubes en abril. Shot down in May. Derribado en mayo. But I know I'm gonna change that tune. Sé que voy a cambiar de marcha de, ¿no?, esa canción que canto. When I'm back on top in June. I said that's life. Dije, eso es la vida. Funny as it may seem, quizá parezca gracioso. Some people get their kicks. Algunos lo pasan bien, stomping on a dream, pisoteando un sueño. But I don't let it get me down. No dejo que me deprima, 'cause this fine old world, it keeps spinning around, porque esta vida sigue girando. I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a king. I've been up, down, over and out. And I know one thing. Each time I find myself flat on my face, cada vez que me veo, ¿no?, con la cara en el suelo, I pick myself up and I get back in the race. And I love it. I've been a puppet, he sido marioneta. I've been a pauper, ¿no? Uno que pide dinero, por a pirate, un pirata, a poet, a pawn, un peón, y un rey. So that's life. Guys, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure, as always. I said that's life. Sing it with me. Uh-huh. What a beautiful philosophy.
That's life.
That's life.
That's what all the
people say.
You're riding high